Hello everybody, welcome into another edition of High School Roundup here on CUTV, and especially this time on CUTV Sports 1. Brand new episode here. We're coming at you live on our YouTube page. First time we've ever done this. We're going to see how it works. We can check out our panelists over here to my left now. Of course, we've got TK joined us this week, and of course, Douglas Gladicus, or Dookie Glatt, I don't know, something like that.
We have a lot of nicknames for him.
Yeah, it's basically plug in whichever nickname you want. But good to see that we're on live on CUTV Sports 1, so let's see how this goes. We got a lot of good stuff to break down this week, so let's get into it.
A lot of great stuff here. We're going to jump right off the bat. TK, you got Laurel Highlands this week, and they played Ringgold. How'd that shake down?
I do, and it looked pretty good. Laurel Highlands grabbing a win this week, so we're going to go in and take a look at the highlights and show you guys how they played. See, right here we had Braden Fine getting ahead first for Ringgold, go up 6-0, and continue it here. Rodney Gallagher is going to make an interception here on this play on the throw from Ringgold. Make some shifty moves and make his way all the way to the end zone for the touchdown. They do make the extra point. They go up 7-6. LH with the ball again, hands it off, this time to Thomas. And he will get in to extend the lead 14-6 in favor of Laurel Highlands. Again, another handoff to Thomas. He's been a busy man so far. And another touchdown, keeping it going. Thomas again, 21-6 now. And a rush straight up the middle after the fumble and the kickoff. They punch it in, make it 28-6. This time, Christopher takes it himself all the way in for 6 for another touchdown. LH on the move so far in this one. A handoff to Gallagher, jet sweep all the way left side. So much speed and space as he takes it all the way to the house for a touchdown. Keep in mind, this is all before halftime. So LH looked amazing in this game. Whew, I mean, it looked really good here. Then he took it in right there for a touchdown. And your final score, 42-13 in favor of the Mustangs of Laurel Highlands. They looked great this week, Colin.
Getting their first win here. They were looking for that. I mean, they've been working for it all season now. 1-6 they are at this point in time. So, Doug, it's got to feel good to get that weight off your shoulders. What do you think?
Yeah, most definitely. It's a huge win for them. Gallagher's a great player. We know that from doing the LH highlights every week and from insight from our good friend Bobby D, saying he's an even better basketball player than he is football player. But he was phenomenal this week for LH.
Let's check out the rest of the 4A scores here. Let's see how everything shook down in that league over the week here. Big 8 4A, we got Bell Vernon 48, Trinity 7. Bell Vernon continues to look strong throughout this season. Then we had a tough one here. Greensburg-Salem 13, West Mifflin 10. PK, West Mifflin.
That's a tough loss for West Mifflin. They looked really good when they played Laurel Highlands just last week. So, I mean, to come out and take a close loss at Greensburg-Salem, it's got to hurt them. But they have a tough game coming up this week, so they got to get prepared.
It's going to be a great one. I know I'm looking forward to it indeed here. Moving on forward through the rest now. Thomas Jefferson and Central Valley, one of our pick'em games last week. TJ 28. I did the dirty. I picked against TJ this week, and that was wrong, and it proved me wrong here. 28-3 over Central Valley. Then Indiana and the Keysport 50-0. Doug, they take care of business.
Yeah, they most definitely did. 50-0 is nothing to laugh at, and the Keysport just absolutely blowing out Indiana there.
Moving on forward here, I believe we have one more. We do not. It's Big 8 standings here. Now, this is where standings are going to start getting different. Normally, we would just run through them quickly. But now you can see at the bottom of your screen, we have playoff implications that are starting to sneak their way into these standings here. Bell Vernon, they clinched themselves a playoff berth, Doug.
That they did. Another solid year for Bell Vernon. Going to be a team to watch this week as they are on CUTV facing West Mifflin. We'll get into that a little bit later. But nonetheless, both Bell Vernon and West Mifflin have been unreal this year. TJ at the top. Again, their defense has been great, only giving up an average of 4.7 points per game.
And you notice there, I mean, everybody else on that point right now, still in it technically. Nobody's eliminated out at the Big 8 4A yet. Now we can check out the Big East 3A now, see what's going on with them this past week. Burl and Mount Pleasant, 34-18. Mount Pleasant picking up a good win. And right in the middle of that division there, Deer Lakes and Freeport. Freeport trying to get their way into the top half with a 40-21 win. TK, what do you think about Freeport?
Looking to get ahead. They have some ups and downs throughout the season so far, but they're right in the mix. They have a great chance to get up ahead and get into that clinch a playoff spot. So as long as they keep their hopes up and keep pushing forward, I think they'll get there.
Moving on forward here through the rest of these. Darien and Uniontown. It was a close one at the half. Darien only had 14 points at the half. I remember being shocked hearing that in the press box at Southmoreland on Friday. But they took care of business, 52-7. And the game everybody had been looking forward from this conference is North Catholic 12, EF 7. Doug, EF's high-powered offense gets stifled.
That they did get stopped a bit there. North Catholic being the top team in the Big East Conference for 3A. Their defense just prevailed in the end as they gave up an average of 16.5 points a game this season. But EF was not able to come through and try and solve that defense here in that one.
Yeah, it's a tough one to try to find your way through here. Moving forward once again, we got one more. It's Yacht 0, Aliquippa 67. Not much to say about that. Aliquippa, one of the best teams in the Whitfield. We don't have to cover that much. We'll save that for when we get to the playoff episodes. But either way, let's move on forward here. The Big East 3A standings here. Nobody's clinched yet. There's a couple of clinching scenarios coming up on Friday, but Uniontown, they're eliminated.
That's right. Uniontown is eliminated, but again, this is a very close conference as everybody is not clinched yet, only Uniontown being eliminated. So we're going to have to see how things shake out in coming weeks with those clinching scenarios.
It's going to be interesting to see who makes their way in, who doesn't, who's left on the outside looking in. But in the meantime, let's check out the 5A Big East standings now and their scores as well. Franklin Regional and Gateway. This was a tough one. A lot of people debated about this one last week, but I picked Gateway. I knew I was going to be right. Gateway 31, Franklin Regional 0. Penn Trafford 39, Latrobe 7. One of the Big East 5A heavy-hitting games there, TK, Gateway and Franklin Regional.
Yeah, one of your top two tier teams. I mean, when you always have a battle for the top two teams, you know, at least the top three, at least anyway, you know, those teams are always going to battle their hearts out to see who can get the supremacy of that conference. So, I mean, to see that big of a span of score, it's really shocking to me because you'd think it'd be a closer game being two evenly powered teams.
Gateway's defense continues to look tough here. Moving forward once again, you've got Indiana McKeesport, just like we talked about there. It still counts. McKeesport picking up a win. You know they're in 5A, playing down to 4A. And there it is. Connellsville 20, Fox Chapel 25. Didn't quite get it there this week, TK.
You know what? They were up at half, is what I heard.
We'll take that. We'll
so,
take it.
I mean, Fox Chapel played well in the second half. Connellsville played a lot better than what was expected. I actually heard that we have a couple of players that actually quit the team after this week. So some things going on in Connellsville, hoping we get it back on track with my hometown team. But going up against Fox Chapel, I can probably say that they played pretty well, scoring 20.
Got to get things back on track there for the Falcons here. Moving forward, one more. It was a West Virginia team taking on Plum here, 30-27. Plum got the win there. It was a close one to me. We were a little puzzled in the back room here when we were putting the graphics together yesterday. West Virginia team making their way up here. Normally throughout the season, we've been seeing teams from this area traveling down, but we had one make their way up, 30-27 Plum. Let's check out the standings now of the 5A here. A couple of clinchers here. We've got Penn Trafford, Gateway, and McKeesport. They're in. They're ready to party. And then we've got a couple at the bottom still not out of it yet. TK, Connellsville, they're not out of it yet. They're hanging on by dear life, but they're not out of it yet.
I'm surprised they're not out of it. You know, there's only one win on the board for them so far, and they're going up against Franklin Regional this upcoming week. So I don't like to go against a hometown team, but I don't see Connellsville winning this week either. Franklin Regional would look to probably clinch with a win, I'd think. And then Connellsville, I mean, if they find some way in the playoffs, I'd be happy, but kind of shocked in the same way.
Yeah, definitely don't want to bet against them. But we're going to take a quick commercial break here, so don't go anywhere because we got a lot more great things coming up for you when we get back here. Game of the week highlights, Charleroi and Southmoreland. It was a good one. The 2A scores and standings and the 1A scores and standings, Interstate, Tri-County South, and can't forget those hometown standings as well. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on CUTV Sports 1.
Colin, what's wrong, man?
I just don't know how my family back home in Millersburg, Pennsylvania can watch our stuff down here.
Well, they could follow us on Twitter, or they could like us on Facebook.
Yeah, but what about our sports? How can they watch those?
They could watch it live on our YouTube channel.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie. Nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
Have you seen the new Cal U Vulcan logo around? Have you wondered where to get gear featuring it? Then go to calvulcans.com and click shop. Log on and browse a full selection of men's shirts, women's shirts, pullovers, hoodies, and more. All items feature customization with the new Cal U Vulcan logo and wordmark. The site also features a full selection of hats, tailgating items, and accessories. Don't be the last person to sport new Cal U Vulcan gear. Go to calvulcans.com today.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back into another episode here of High School Roundup. We're about a quarter of the way through here. I'm Colin Kirkwood. Joined alongside of me is Trevin TK Catellis and Douglas Gladicus III. Sure, why not? We'll go with that.
Yeah, we got to go with it. Love it, though, either way.
It's great to be back here, guys. Now I know we had a great game on Friday. I had a lot of fun doing this one. It was Charleroi and Southmoreland in a great 2A matchup. I know you enjoyed it, Doug. You looked like you had a lot of fun taking care of that game, but we got highlights from that as it was our game of the week all the way out in Southmoreland. Let's check it out. There it is, 28-7. Charleroi got the win, but now you can check out the highlights. There's the Cougar on the sidelines there. He was fired up, kind of. I mean, there he goes. He figured it out now. But either way, he was excited to take on the Scotties on Friday. Starting off tough here, Charleroi rolling away on offense. They're going to throw this one away. It's going to be intercepted by Mason Bassinger, and Bassinger takes it all the way in for Southmoreland to score. A lot of rowdy people blocking my cameras on Friday when I was directing. Was not a fan of that. But Southmoreland taking the lead 7-0 there. Dropping back to throw. It's going to be wide into the end zone. Will he get it? He got it. It's going to be a 30-yard pass from Alex Conrad to Legend Davis to tie it up at 7-7. This game was back and forth all the way. And look at that beautiful camera angle down there on the side of the field. You got to love it. Here it is, Charleroi on offense once again. It's going to be snuck right on into the end zone. It's Conrad once again. Put them up 21-7 for those Cougars. They continue to silence the Scotty crowd at home. Here it is once again. It was a close one over there, and they're just going to go ahead and pound it right on in from the goal line to give Charleroi a 28-7 lead. Gotta love that. They came on the road, upset a heavily favored Scotties team at home, and they picked up the win 28-7, which is what you love to see here with the last touchdown. Absolutely amazing. They put them on the ropes. They got it through the rest of the game. Charleroi taking it down. Southmoreland just couldn't keep up.
Yeah, I gotta say that most people last week in the pick'ems picked Charleroi in this game, and I was
did.
like one of the two people who picked Southmoreland rather.
Right.
I picked Charleroi. I was like one of the two people to pick Charleroi, so I'm gonna take the victory on that one.
We'll see how that factors in here a little bit later, but in the meantime, let's check out the rest of these 2A scores here. This is my favorite conference. I love covering this conference. I don't know why. There's so many great teams here, but McGuffey and Brownsville, enough said, Gary, 48-22. McGuffey, the Highlanders, grabbing a win. Moving on forward, woof, goodness. Washington 45, Carmichael's the big 0. It's going to be a no from me, dog. We're going to go ahead and move forward and prove that. Ooh, enough said. Leechburg and Fraser, this one tripped up a lot of people here. Fraser beat Leechburg, and that split the panel last week. But Fraser gets their first win here. East Allegheny picking up a big win over the struggling Bulldogs of Beth Center. They just can't seem to get it going this year. Injuries, everything, you name it. Doug, it's been a problem for them.
Yeah, it has been quite the issue. Like we saw week one, we covered that game. Colby Coons, their quarterback, he went down with an injury. He's out for the year, and things have really just been a struggle point from that point on.
Definitely here moving forward in the interstate here. We can see a lot of clinching scenarios here already wrapped up. McGuffey grabbed one, Washington grabbed one, Charleroi, they're in. Southmoreland, they're in. That's the big one. That's what we're going to have to talk about here. And everybody else, Brownsville, sorry, Gary, they get the cone of shame, I guess. I don't know what that's called, but they get the eliminated cone of shame. So does Carmichael's, Fraser, and Beth Center. But Southmoreland, they've made their way in. They've broken that playoff drought. They're ready for this season to be over with here so they can snap that streak week one.
That's right. It's kind of unfortunate that they lost the game to Charleroi 28-7, but at the end of the day, it still had a high point. They were able to clinch and that very long playoff drought, and now they're going to go into these WPIAL playoffs ready to play.
good for them. I mean, that's something we've been rooting for, at least I have, since the beginning of the season. So I'm glad to see them pull that off. Now we can check out the Tri-County South here. Another great conference, a lot of competition in this one. Avella and Bentworth. Bentworth grabbed the win 31-20, and then California getting shut out by West Green, TK. West Green 35-0.
West Green's just so strong. We've seen them all season long. That there's no one stopping them at all. So, I mean, they just continue to roll through everyone they play, and we see it game in and game out, week in. And, you know, I just think they're going to continue out the rest of the season. They look to be my favorite out of this 1A. So, hopefully they continue to roll.
We'll see here, especially it's going to be a tough one for them this week, but we'll talk about that a bit later. Moving on forward in these Tri-County South scores, Monessen and Shar Houston playing a close one. Shar Houston 21-19. Bentworth taking on Sarah Catholic, another close one. Bentworth grabbed the surprising win, 14-13, Doug.
Yeah, that was a real shocker. Good comeback for them, 14-13. Was really close, but in the end, they got that clutch win by 1 point.
You can jump on forward here. Riverview and Jeff Morgan. We saw Riverview a couple of weeks ago, and they look a lot different here, picking up the win, 34-14. Mapletown and Greensburg Central Catholic. There was a win for Greensburg Central Catholic, 47-27, but Riverview looking a lot different than what you guys saw about maybe a month and a half ago. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, when they played Charleroi last time, which is Doug and I's team we've been rooting on for a while.
Right.
It was a shutout win for Charleroi over Riverview, but they look to bounce back, and they're getting a win over Jeff Morgan here, and they've got a couple wins since then. So, you know, looking forward to seeing what they have in store. Hopefully make a run here, because they didn't look too good at the beginning, but they picked it up so far.
Moving on forward here, after that great recap, let's see what we got. Tri-County South standings, West Green, they're in. Avella and Mapletown, they're out. Everybody else still in the mix, Doug.
Yeah, this is a really tight conference. As you see, West Green's the only one that is clinched so far. The rest are still in the mix, except for Mapletown, who's been eliminated. And it's gonna be down to the wire to see who grabs those last few playoff spots in that conference.
It was a tough one last year. I know that for a fact. It really came down to the end of the season to figure out who was going to get into the playoffs here. But now let's check out the hometown standings, everyone's favorite part of the show, or at least mine. Richland 7-0. I just don't even know what to say at this point. Doug might run away with the victory here. We have Shaler teasing the guest picker of the week. Rack your brains, high school roundup fans. See if you can figure out who went to Shaler High. Conrad Weiser for Devon, 3 and 4. They're still near the top. Brownsville and Millersburg in the middle. Still comfortable here. Of course, Millersburg is not going to play this week. They did not have enough players to field a team, so they had to forfeit their last home game in the history of the program. One singular tear, you can see it coming down my face, but either way. Laurel Highlands found their way out of the bottom of the scoreboard here. They are now 1-6. Connellsville 1-6 for TK, and Nolan Boys Lines Halifax Wildcats 0-7. I can already taste the pizza that no one's going to get for us at the end of the year.
Yeah, I can too. However, I'm not sure if Halifax would grab a win and Laurel Highlands and Connellsville stay where they are. What would happen with the three-way tie? Do we all split a pizza, or how does this work?
I don't know. It's going to be the first time ever in the history. But Doug, what's going on with Richland? They look like a tough team, 7-0 to this point.
They've been absolutely unreal. They played Bishop Guilfoyle this week, who's a 5-1 team, and they blew them out of the water. They won 33-0. This is all coming down to the wire here. Week 10, they play Chestnut Ridge, who is ranked in the state. Richland's ranked 4th in AA right now, and Chestnut Ridge is ranked 5th. So that's going to be one heck of a matchup Week 10.
Yeah.
Really going to be a playoff tone-up for them.
But in the meantime, we can get rid of all those somewhat bad football teams on the screen there. We don't bring a great mix in, but either way, we'll have the Pick'em standings, the reveal of our alumni picker of the week. Don't forget, Shaler, who's it going to be? The Pick'em games we've got, and Dougie's certified fresh top 3 plays. Don't go anywhere. More high school roundup coming up next on CTV Sports 1.
Consider the future. Your future. At California University of Pennsylvania, you can build your life your way because we believe in you. We invest in you, empower you to create the future you envision. We give you the tools and teaching so you can rise up and achieve. Don't settle for someone else's vision of you. Build you at CalU. Visit us at calu.edu.
Hey, what's up, CUTV? Fred Ryan here, class of 2002. Happy to be the guest picker for this week. I got some great games here for us on the docket, thanks to Colin here. So let's get things started in 5A. Plum and Latrobe, Big East Conference matchup. Both teams allowing about 35 points per game this season, but Plum's offense has been putting up some big numbers lately. 3 of the last 4 games, they've scored 30 or more. So I'm going to take the Mustangs in that matchup. Down in 4A, a non-conference matchup between 4-3 Blackhawk, 1-6 Indiana. Indiana's been outscored 208-22 in their last 4 games. Blackhawk has first-team all-conference running back Marquez Watson-Trent, who has 800-plus yards of total offense and 16 touchdowns this year. Blackhawk has to travel 85 miles for this game, but I think they'll be pretty happy to come away with a blowout victory. 3A, Big East Conference matchup. 3-3 Burrell hosting 3-3 Freeport. Both teams rebounding. Burrell has won 3 of their last 4 after a 1-2 start. Freeport has won 3 in a row after an 0-3 start. I like Burrell in this game. Their offense is pretty balanced. They have the 6th leading Whitfield passer, and they can run the ball. So I like Burrell to win that game in a close one. 2A, big interstate conference matchup. Charleroi 4-1 in the conference, taking on 5-0 McGuffey. After a season-opening loss to Wash High, Cougars have won 5 straight and outscored their opponents 213-28. But McGuffey knows a thing or two about blowouts. All of their wins have come this season by double digits. The closest of those games, a 15-point win over Clairton earlier in the season. Tough to pick against the Highlanders in this one, so I'm going to go with McGuffey over Charleroi in this matchup. Speaking of Clairton, they will host a non-conference matchup against 1A undefeated 7-0 West Green Pioneers on Friday night. Clairton opened their season with double-digit losses to Aliquippa and McGuffey before winning 5 straight, led by dual threat Brendan Parsons. It was over 1,400 yards of total offense and 17 total touchdowns this year. But the West Green Pioneers have a man by the name of Ben Jackson. You know him, the Whitfield's leading rusher. Not only is he the Whitfield's leading rusher, but he has over 200 yards more than the next closest player on 82 fewer carries. And oh, by the way, he's the Whitfield's leading scorer with 29 touchdowns this year. I'm going West Green. Got to take West Green, even on the road in Clairton. I think West Green pulls this one out and stays undefeated. Finally, the CUTV game of the week. Big 8 conference matchup in 4A between West Mifflin and Bell Vernon. The Leopards have won their 5 games by 58, 50, 54, 40, and 41 this year. West Mifflin coming off a 3-point loss to Greensburg-Salem and part of a stretch where they finish 3 of their last 4 on the road. Now, one note about this series is that West Mifflin has won 3 consecutive games at Bell Vernon. But I think the Leopards get their first win at home over West Mifflin at home since 2010. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. You guys do a great job down there at the high school Roundup. Glad to see the show's still around after all these years. So keep up the great work, and we'll see you next time.
There he was, the creator of the show. Fred Ryan got his video at the buzzer there, so we apologize for a little bit of the aspect ratio. It was a little messed up when I tried to fix it. But either way, he's here, he's ready, he made his picks, a couple of bold ones. I don't know about West Green, but either way, you can see our pick'em standings there. Bobby D, he's back up top, but he's got a couple on his heels here. The Twitter peeps only behind a game. Guest alumni apparently are blowing us out of the water on the panel so far at this point. 24-6. Gary's got a 23-7 along with Nolan. Still hanging around. I got a couple chances here. 22-8. I just need a big week for everybody else to have a not so big week. TK, you're down there. 21-9. Doug and Devin 20-10 each. And then the good old high school Roundup puppy 17-14, keeping it over 500.
Yeah, he's looking pretty good. He makes some decent picks from time to time, and some of his upsets actually happen for him. So I like the puppy. I think he's gonna make a little run here at the end of the season.
She's great. Big fan of her. Miss her a lot. Hopefully I'll see her at some point. But Doug, you got to figure something out there. You're about to get passed up by a dog.
Yeah, I'm about to get passed up by the puppy. I don't know what happened. I started out the year really solid, and then I've really plateaued the past 2 weeks. So
I need to figure something out here, but let's go ahead and check out this first pick'em game here. We got the 5A one. We've got Plum and Latrobe. A lot of people thinking Plum. The dog and Twitter's going with Latrobe. What do you guys think of this one?
Is the puppy going with Latrobe because they're a cat and they're chasing the cat?
You gotta ask the dog, man.
Plum just looks like a much better team in this one. Yeah, I mean, I've seen Plum play a lot. I also know, because I'm from Connersville, that it was a tight game between Connersville and Latrobe.
Right.
And neither of those two teams can seem to win a game
Right.
now. So I'm taking Plum 100%.
All right, Doug, what do you think?
I'm sticking with Plum. I think they picked up a huge win last week, 30-27 against that West Virginia team. I think that's a pretty big accomplishment to have somebody coming up from another state and then you end up beating them. So I feel like that's a lot of momentum for them.
Let's roll it forward here into the 4A. This one was kind of tough. I struggled to find a good one in 4A because we have the best 4A game, at least in my opinion, for CUTV's Game of the Week. So let's check out our 4A pick'em game here. Blackhawk and Indiana. It's a tough one, but everybody's going with Blackhawk, and I think rightfully so.
Yeah, they look good. I mean, I don't like to go against Blackhawk or anything. I mean, I followed them when they had in basketball season, which is a little ways away, but
Right.
coming up shortly. But Blackhawk always had a good basketball team, and they always have good sports programs in general. So it's hard to pick against Blackhawk in any sport for me.
I think that sums it up. What do you think, Doug?
I think it does too. I mean, you and I were preparing graphics yesterday and we saw that Indiana was 1-6. So why would you go against Blackhawk in that one?
Freeport and Burrell here. A lot of people thinking Freeport. I know I'm thinking Burrell, though. I like them. After seeing them play against Uniontown a couple of weeks ago, I think, TK, you're agreeing with me.
I am, and so is Bobby D. And we're those guys that are a little different than the rest of the pack. And sometimes being different, going against the rest of the crowd, pays off. And I think we're going to pay off here by picking Burrell.
Definitely. Let's move on forward here. Checking out the next matchup we've got. Charleroi and McGuffey. Of course, I'm just going to let you guys get it all out now. Why are you picking Charleroi? For what reason?
Hey, Charleroi is a great team. We saw them play versus Riverview. We saw them last week versus Southmoreland. They look very good between their defense and offense. They have Conrad at quarterback, Mahalson at running back. They have Legend Davis that can play out. They have a wide variety of different things they can run against the team. So trying to game plan against that is tough for any defense. So I'm taking the Cougars.
Good stuff, good stuff. I'm thinking McGuffey, though, because I like the Highlanders. I think they got a shot here. I know Gary's thinking them, too. So is Devin. And I believe...
It was his seal of approval.
I think it might have been. It is. His seal of approval. He couldn't make it here. He's off on the campaign trail this week, so we won't see him until next week. But in the meantime, Devin, he's stamping the Highlanders.
Yeah, he can take the Highlanders. If I had a stamp, I'd put it on Charleroi, but I don't. So Devin and I will battle it out this week and see who gets that victory.
Moving on forward here, let's check out our 1A game. This is the one that I've been talking about all week. West Green and Clairton. It's going to be somehow a split panel, which I'm a little confused on. At least some people are picking Clairton, which I think might be the right choice. But a couple of you guys, you like West Green to try to take on the almighty champion Clairton.
Yeah, I didn't actually know Clairton was the almighty champions. He just told me, so I'm not going to be that guy that changes his pick. I'm going to stick with West Green, although I might think I might lose now.
Never know. Doug, you're thinking about it.
I'm thinking West Green. I know Clairton is the almighty. I know that they've been a powerhouse.
Dynasty.
Honestly, we can call them a dynasty at this point. They've been dominant for years. They produce some NFL talent. But I'm going West Green. I like their team this year. They've been really solid. They average 15 points. Never mind. That was the wrong thing. But I really like West Green in this one. But, I mean, I could see Clairton potentially beating them. But I'm sticking with West Green.
Going on forward here, now we got the game of the week, West Mifflin and Bell Vernon. I know I'm a big Leopards guy here. I'm going with BVA. No one's thinking West Mifflin, and TK, West Mifflin.
Yeah, I hate to go against Bell Vernon. I know a lot of people from there, but I've seen the way West Mifflin has played so far in some games, and I really like the way they run their offense through the run, and then if you can't get the run going through the pass. So I think it's going to be an interesting one to see. It could go either way. I just basically flipped the coin on this one, and it ended up being West Mifflin. So I'm just going to be honest and go with it.
Best thing you can do there, but it's going to be a great one. I'm looking forward to Friday for multiple reasons, but either way, that brings us to the end of the pick'ems here. Now we can check out Doug's top 3 plays of the week. Doug, talk us through them.
All right. Let's get our third play here now.
Yeah, lettuce.
Yeah, that flow. Here's a little Highlands highlight. Here's Gallagher. He's going to take off on that huge run. Another great play for him. He's one heck of an athlete.
He's fast. Look at him.
He has blazing speed. Absolutely unreal athlete. Can't wait to see him during basketball season. Here's our number 2 play. This is going to be from the Charleroi-Southmoreland game. Alex Conrad throws an interception, and Southmoreland's going to take this all the way to the crib. Looked like they were going to that could have given themselves a lot of momentum, but apparently not, as we saw that final score. Here's Ringgold. This pass is absolutely unreal. Great catch by the receiver as he had to curl his toe in to stay in bounds.
Did it dethrone
Will
it,
it
though?
get dethroned? Absolutely not. As Laurel Highlands quarterback, just one heck of an effort by him. One stiff arm, two stiff arm, hops over the guy, runs right through two defenders, and dives in for the score. I think that might be our blue ribbon play of the week.
The rest of the year.
The rest of the year, because it is a fantastic effort by Laurel Highlands there.
Yeah, I think it's going to hang on there. I mean, it's not often that you take out that many people on your way down the field and still score.
No, it takes a lot of strength and agility to be able to do that. So he looked amazing on that play, and I can agree. I don't think it's going to be dethroned this year for the play of the week.
Let's go ahead and check out and talk about this week's Friday night matchup. We've gone at West Mifflin, Bell Vernon. Excited for this one for a lot of reasons, guys. Of course, it's going to be at BVA. We get to see the gold turf, favorite thing every year. You love to see it. It looks so cool on TV.
Yeah.
Plus, this is also going to be my birthday bash. I don't know. Maybe we'll get cake or something. I can direct and eat cake. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But, you know, a lot of great reasons to be excited.
Yeah, I mean, we got the gold turf, as you said. That's such a amazing thing for BVA to have on their field. Plus, it's your birthday party. We have to do some kind of, I'd say, post-game meal for birthday for Colin, and I'm sure we'll get to see that. So I'm looking forward to a nice Colin's birthday party football game this Friday.
Yeah, hopefully Bell Vernon doesn't let me down here and they get the win so I can move on up in those standings. But it's going to be a great one. I think Bell Vernon is a tough team as always, and of course it's tough to beat them in their own environment. So I think it's going to be a great one.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there, Colin. Like we said with the gold turf, that's actually really cool. But both these teams are very close to each other in the standings, so they have a lot of.
They need this one.
Yeah, they need this one. It's a game with huge playoff implications
At least
for both
West
teams.
Mifflin does.
Yeah, at least West Mifflin does need this game, but it's going to be a great matchup. Can't wait for Friday to cover it and see what happens.
But that brings us to the end of another great episode here. First one live on CUTV Sports 1. I think it worked out pretty well. What do you guys think?
I think it went well.
Awesome. I loved it.
I'll have to do it again next week. But brings us to the end of the show here. Another great episode starting to tick down. Got a couple more left, and then we'll be talking playoffs. It's hard to believe it's going this fast. But I want to thank everybody in the control room helping us out here, especially Gary and Carl. And you guys here on the panel, TK and Doug, thanks for joining me. But I'm Colin Kirkwood, and in the meantime, we'll see you again after this Friday's great slate of games.